The Nintendo 3DS was unveiled at E3 2010, and later that year in November, Shigeru Miyamoto stated that the 3DS would feature both 3D and 2D Mario games. A year later, after the release of a 3D Mario game, Super Mario 3D Land, Satoru Iwata officially announced that a 2D Mario game would be released for the system. Many were hoping it would be Super Mario Bros. 4, as Nintendo recently registered the domain name supermario4.com, even though Super Mario World was considered Super Mario Bros. 4 in Japan. It was at this point I feel like many people were getting a bit tired of the new Super Mario Bros. Series. During E3 2011, Nintendo unveiled the Wii U console to a collective okay. And alongside it, they showed off a new Super Mario Bros. Game entitled New Super Mario Bros. Me. It was literally New Super Mario Bros. Wii in HD, and you could play as Mii's. Not the greatest first impression for a brand new HD home console. Showing it off with a 2D Mario game that looks so similar to the last one is the definition of underwhelming. Especially considering New Super Mario Bros. Wii didn't push the Wii's hardware. What made them think this would get anybody excited? But it was just a tech demo showing off a traditional Mario game in HD and how the Wii U gamepad could display the same image as the TV screen. However, this tech demo really hit home how samey the games were feeling, and it didn't help at all that 2012 was the year we got 2 new Super Mario Bros. Games within a few months of each other. New Super Mario Bros. 2 was officially announced in a Japan-only Nintendo Direct in April of 2012. Yeah, the Wii one wasn't the true sequel. This is where things really starting. I initially thought that the game would take some inspirations from Super Mario Bros. 2, whether that be the Japanese or American version. But in reality, it's not New Super Mario Bros. 2, it's New Super Mario Bros. 2. The main selling point of the game Nintendo was highlighting was announced at E3 2012, the sheer abundance of coins, asking everybody to take up the challenge of getting 1 million coins in the game. Honestly, leading up to the game's release, it felt like they might actually be switching things up. Sure, the trailers looked like it was just another new Super Mario Bros. Game, but this focus on coins could lead to the game being much more than just another new Super Mario Bros. Game. It was just another new Super Mario Bros. Game. New Super Mario Bros. 2 is one of the most derivative, play-it-safe games in the Mario series. The amount of new ideas at work here can easily be counted on at the very most 2 hands. There's not a lot here, and that's not to say it's poorly made or bad. It's just everything here has been done to death before, and it's really not too interesting. The coin mechanic is front and center, but doesn't play into the gameplay at all. There's just a lot more coins than usual, and there's a coin counter that's always here. Why not do something interesting with this setup? Why not explain the crazy amount of coins? Why not have a shop to use the coins? The coins are completely superfluous. There's no point to there being so many of them. And of course, the age-old question, can you get 1 million coins, requires the loss of countless friends and social activities, but lo and behold, you get a different title screen when you hit it. I missed my uncle's funeral for this. Weirdly enough, this is the only new Super Mario Bros. Game that doesn't feature Bowser Jr., just the Koopalings. Other than that, if you dug the DS game, well, there's more of it. Power-ups are pretty fun in this entry though, of course Mushroom, Fire Flower, and Star, but the Mini and Mega Mushroom return. The Mega Mushroom is even more useless than what it was in the DS original, but whatever. The Gold Flower is the only brand new power-up here, and it turns anything it touches into gold. You lose it after the level's over, but overall it's a pretty satisfying power-up. But guys, Raccoon Mario from Super Mario Bros. 3 returns, hooray! It works just like it did back in the day. You can fly and bat things with your tail. It's nice to have this back. And if you blow way past hard and die enough times in a level, the invincibility leaf appears, giving you an indestructible version of Raccoon Mario unless you fall down a pit. Some blocks, if you continually hit them, will get stuck on your head and turn gold. Keep running to rack up the coins. We also have gold rings, which temporarily turn everything into money-making machines. The game features 2-player co-op and coin rush mode, which throws you in 3 levels where you have a limited amount of time to get as many coins as possible. There's also DLC for Coin Rush mode, which consists of new levels to play exclusively in this mode. Overall, I'd say New Super Mario Bros. 2 is most comparable to junk food. I feel guilty for enjoying it, but I gotta be honest. The coins are really satisfying to get in this game, the courses are well designed, I like the power-ups, the controls are rock solid. This is a good game, but man, they couldn't even be bothered to make something original? Staying true to the series is one thing, but New Super Mario Bros. 2 goes too far. I don't think the game features even one piece of original music, and looks-wise, once again, it's the same presentation as Wii in the original. I played this game so much back in the day, but even back then, I considered this one a bit of a guilty pleasure just because of how derivative it is. And then, only a few months later, we got New Super Mario Bros. U. Miyamoto let slip that a Mario game for Wii U would be talked about at E3 2012 in April of that year, and it was confirmed they would be based off of New Super Mario Bros. Me, ugh! Apparently, New Super Mario Bros. U took 3 years to develop.
Really?
The game released in November of 2012 as a launch title for the Wii U. Setup-wise, they actually switched things up. Instead of kidnapping Princess Peach, Bowser takes over her castle and throws Mario and gang all the way to No Man's Land, i.e. Acorn Station. The world map is interconnected, similar to Super Mario World, where it's just one big map. All the worlds connect to each other. It's alright, it's not that crazy cool and as big of a deal as many people made it out to be when the game initially released. The fact that the game still maintains the same aesthetic as the other games kinda devalues the new world map. It doesn't really feel like a huge world. Power-ups wise, we only have one new one, the Super Acorn, transforming you into Flying Squirrel Mario. It's definitely different from any other flying or gliding power-up in the past. Here you just get a burst of vertical movement, can cling onto walls and glide. And I like this one. It's different, but is one of my go-to power-ups in this game. All the power-ups from New Super Mario Bros. Wii return here, with the mini mushroom having the added benefit of running up walls. And Yoshi's back as well, alongside the reintroduction of baby Yoshis from Super Mario World. However, the three colors featured in the game all have different abilities. Pink can become a giant balloon, blue can create bubbles, yellow can glow in the dark, and all have an insatiable appetite. Unlike Yoshi, baby Yoshis can be taken with you from level to level, which is odd. I don't see why they can come with you, but Yoshi can't. Randomly, this abomination appears. Nabbit. He's a bandit rabbit, that's adorable. You have the option to chase him down in specific levels if you feel like it, which is a nice little side thing to do if you're into that sort of thing. The game retains the multiplayer from New Super Mario Bros. Wii in all of its glory/horror, however you can now add a fifth player using the Wii U gamepad to add blocks on the screen to give everybody an extra boost, and yes, it's as useless as it sounds. Graphically, the game looks great. It has a ton of polish and looks incredibly distinct from the rest of the series. I've been using footage from New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Yeah, the game's incredibly polished, it looks decent, but man, they could have done so much more. Like I illustrated, it looks way too similar to the entry on Wii to be considered anything to get excited over. For God's sakes, this was the first Mario game in HD. I think the franchise deserved a bit more of a special introduction to this resolution. And yes, I'm obligated to talk about this stage because everybody has to say, ooh, look at this stage, why didn't the rest of the game look like this? And I wholeheartedly agree. Sound-wise, it's the same as all the other New Super Mario Bros. Games. None of the themes stick out. Too much music is reused. Just generic happy bubbly Mario music. However, I do have to say, I really loved how World 8's theme is a more dramatic take on the Peach's Castle theme from Mario 64. That is a nice touch. New Super Mario Bros. U features a few extra modes, a few of which you can play as your Mii, and my bucket list just got eviscerated with this feature. We have Challenge Mode, which is something that should have been in the series since the Wii entry, but it's nice to have something like this. A lot of the challenges are well thought out and creative. I really like having this mode here. There's Boost Rush Mode, where you try to get through an auto-scrolling level as quickly as possible. Grabbing coins makes the stage scroll faster, but also makes it harder to traverse because of it. Again, a decent extra mode. I prefer Challenge Mode though. Coin Battle makes a return, allowing you to actually edit coin placement with Wii U gamepad. Wow. And that's New Super Mario Bros. U. It's New Super Mario Bros. Wii in HD. Man, I remember this game feeling a lot more original. A breath of fresh air for the New Super Mario Bros. Series, if you will. I guess I let those new console jitters get the best of me. Don't get me wrong, it's still a good game. But I don't know, out of all the New Super Mario Bros. Games, this one left me feeling the most empty. The extra modes are fun and has some cool new ideas. But I think the fact that it has some cool new ideas but doesn't really do anything with them is what kills it for me. Like, think about it. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was the first home console 2D Mario in forever. It introduced a few new fun power-ups and 4-player multiplayer, brought back Yoshi and the Koopalings. New Super Mario Bros. U is Wii again, but the things it introduces are far less compelling. It introduces one new power-up and adds one player to the mix who just adds blocks. Baby Yoshis are here. New Super Mario Bros. 2 is far less original, but at least there was more of a definitive leap from the DS entry to it. New Super Mario Bros. U received $20 DLC in June of 2013 entitled New Super Luigi U. It also received a standalone physical release later that August for $30. This is a remixed New Super Mario Bros. U, but with Luigi as the main character. He has the same floatier jump and slipperier feet that we all know him for. The world map, cutscenes, everything is the same except for the level designs. Those have all been redone to accommodate Luigi's playstyle, and they're way harder. But they're also way shorter, being around half the length and having a time limit of 100 seconds. Honestly, I preferred this game to New Super Mario Bros. U. The shorter, more difficult levels are way more refreshing and different compared to the other games in the series, and Luigi's physics make the game more interesting. Once you beat the game, you can hit the Mario block at the beginning of a level to turn on Mario's physics, which make Luigi way easier to control, but makes it harder to traverse the level. These levels were truly designed for Luigi. With Mario missing from the adventure, who is the fourth playable character? Instead of being total squares and adding a third Toad or something, Nintendo decided to do something interesting and make it Nabbit. He can't take damage, he can only die by getting crushed, falling down pits, going down lava, all that stuff. But he also can't use power-ups, he just collects them. I know exactly why they did this, because Nabbit was already a model in the game, but they didn't want to create too many new animations for him or design what he would look like with power-ups. Whatever, it's still kinda cool he's playable. New Super Mario Bros. U would reappear in Super Mario Maker as a game theme you could choose, and its graphics would be reused in Super Mario Run, Mario's first romp on mobile devices. Can I just say I really like this game? Sure, it's super generic and whatnot, but for a Mario game on my phone, it's basically exactly what I wanted, just quick bite-sized junk food gaming. And that is the new Super Mario Bros. Series as of now. Yes, they have great level designs, yes, they control great, yes, they're good games. But my god, they're bland! The first game on DS, great return to form. The follow-up on Wii, made sense, brings it to a home console, brings back a ton of series staples, adds in 4 players. The 3DS one of the most unoriginal Mario games ever. The Wii U one of the most underwhelming Mario games ever. They all use the same godforsaken art style, the same generic music, the same level design tropes, the same formats, the same thing over and over again. The fact they were released a few years apart and very little change between them, my god, if they released yearly, I would get it. It would make sense that little would change, but there was a 3-year gap between Wii and U, and this is all they did? These elements of the series ensure these games will never live up to the original 2D games, sadly. I think I speak for everybody when I say they better shake things up with this series. All in all, the new Super Mario Bros. Series aren't bad games.